Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, AIOS, for giving me this opportunity. There are multiple ways to build an OT complex, but the essential principles that should be followed in planning the physical layout of OT complex are exclusion of contamination with proper traffic patterns and separation of clean from the contaminated areas. So the first and foremost thing to consider is the type of construction. Are we going to renovate an already existing space, or are we going to construct a totally new building altogether? Is it going to be an exclusively eye hospital or part of a multi-speciality hospital? The next thing to consider is the size of practice, as it is directly correlated with the number of what is requirement and with the requirement of the space. Designing an OT complex is not merely a simple civil engineering work, but it is a combo effort of all the departments. So make a core design team comprising of senior nurses, electricians, plumber, administrators, builders, and of course a surgeon. Try to visit as many theaters as possible to understand what works and what does not work and to gain from their experience. OR has to be located on the upper levels and in the inner part of the facility to prevent dust exposure. Set aside a budget and decide its upper and lower limit. Planning has to be done depending upon the availability of funds and space. Decide in the initial part only whether you would be offering GA or not, as extra space is required to keep the anesthesia machine and additional design is needed for appropriate plugs, suction and oxygen outlet system. Use the space as best as possible and try to avoid wastage of the space. Use materials which are easily available, durable and easy to maintain. An OT complex comprises of surgeon's room, patient preparation room, corridors, sterilization area, storage area, scrub room, and most essentially the theater. All these areas are divided into zones. So what are zones? Zones are areas of cleanliness in which bacteriological count decreases from outer to inner zone. Zoning is important to maintain unidirectional flow of movement. There are no hard and fast rules as to how much space is devoted for each zone, and this can be done depending upon the individual setup. Always plan for separate entry and exit points for patients as well as for staff and doctors, and there should not be any toilets inside the clean areas. Ideally, operation theatre should be square in shape and should have an area of 6 to 6.5 meters square. 3.5 meters of height is sufficient for normal OT, but a height of more than 4.25 meters is needed for convenience of setting of laminar plana. Those should be at least 1.2 to 1.5 meters wide for easy patient movement. Better to have doors of PUF sandwiched with stainless steel or HPL material. Those should be fitted ideally with vision panels to prevent disturbance and staff movement. Ideally to have electrically operated, hermetically sealed doors to ensure better asepsis. Sliding doors are always better than swinging doors, as it saves space as well as it prevents air turbulence. Walls should be smooth, non-reflective, non-porous and easy to clean. In modular OTs, walls are made up of stainless steel or EGP panels. For this, initially a framework is laid down which comprises of either brick wall or a steel framework, and upon that framework on either side PUF sandwiched stainless steel panels are placed. These panels are then painted with antibacterial paint. Paint should preferably be of light color. If budget is a constraint, then instead of stainless steel, tiles can also be used, but the grouting in tiles can become dirty and therefore tiles and grout should be cleaned daily. And if there is a gap, it should be sealed and waterproof immediately. Flooring must be essentially slip resistant, smooth, easy to clean and impervious with minimum joints. It should be either mosaic with copper plates to carry away any static electricity produced, or it can be made anti-static with PVC roll or epoxy. Once again, if there is a financial constraint, then instead of these materials, ceramic tiles can be used. In modular OTs, false ceiling can be made up of stainless steel or EPG panels backed with calcium or gypsum silicate. But if budget is an issue, then instead of that, plain calcium boards or gypsum boards can be used, and these should be coated with antibacterial paint. The height of the false ceiling should be at least 3 meters from finished floor level, and the color of false ceiling should preferably be white. Corners of the room should always be poked to prevent dust accumulation. Scrubbing area should be located immediately outside each operation theatre. Flooring in this area should essentially be non-slippery taps should be either foot pedal operated or elbow operated or infrared sensor operated. CSSD should be fitted with requisite plumbing for supply of RO water of 15 ppm. The most careful CSSDs are divided into 3 areas: decontamination area, sterilization workroom, and sterile storage zone. Decontamination is the area where primary cleaning of instruments is done, and this area should always have a negative air pressure so that air does not rush out into the other spaces when the doors are open. A simple way to achieve this is by use of a powerful exhaust fan. Sterilization zone is the one where final packing and sterilization of the instruments is done. It should have positive air pressure. Sterile storage area lies just adjacent to the sterilization zone, and this area is used mainly for storage of sterile packs and other articles. These are the parameters which must be maintained in CSSD. There should be a provision for storeroom for storing intraocular lenses, less frequently used instruments, spare instruments, scrub braces, and spare gowns. Ideally, the cupboard should be made up of stainless steel and shelves should be made up of glass inside the wall. But if this arrangement is not feasible, then the extra shelves can be made from either slated metal or terrazzo. These shelves should start at least about 30 centimeters from ceiling and should finish about 20 centimeters from the floor to prevent dust from accumulating on these items. Good lighting is needed in operation theatre. Light should always be flush to the ceiling, and the position of operating table must be decided before placing the socket so that the equipment can be plugged into the hole and can also reach the table simultaneously. Make sure there are no cables lying on the floor to avoid tripping. Use double sockets with proper earthing fuse box. Always keep a provision of generator in case of power failure, and where power failure is a frequent phenomenon, then it is worthwhile to attach the machinery to the UPS. Always try not to use the extension cables. Oxygen and nitrous oxide cylinders must be placed in a separate room with easy access, and fire extinguishers should be placed at strategic points. Clean filtered water can be used for cleaning instruments as well as for scrubbing of hands, while ordinary tap water can be used for cleaning OR. There should be a separate overhead tank for operation theatre which should be cleaned periodically. Now coming on to the most vital aspect of any operation theatre, that is air ventilation system or AHU. The purpose of AHU is to control the temperature, pressure and humidity as well as to dilute airborne bacterial contamination. HVAC system with AHU has become the gold standard now and is a talking point of all the CMEs right now. What is this HVAC? It consists of the AHU of HVAC comprises of 3 chambers. So the first chamber has provision for fresh air inlet and return air inlet. In the first chamber, these two airs are mixed and then it passes through a set of 5 microns filter into the second chamber, where it is cooled, compressed and then goes to the third chamber via a set of 3 microns filter. From the third chamber, air then goes to the laminar air flow plenum, where a terminal 0.3 microns filter are placed and then comes to the OR. So this is how it looks. This is a photograph of laminar airflow plenum. As per CBC and NABH guidelines, a temperature of 21 plus minus 3 degrees centigrade, humidity of 20% to 60%, positive pressure of 2.5 pascals with minimum of 20 air exchanges per hour is a must, including 4 fresh air exchanges. So what is this so unique about this HVAC system? AHU HVAC system is both an air purification and air filtration unit, as well as there is provision for fresh air entry, which is very, very important for decreasing the microbiological load, and it is not possible in window ACs and split ACs, as these are purely air recirculating units and harbor convenient pockets for bacteria and fungus, which cannot be cleaned. To summarize, designing an OT complex seems to be a tough task, but it can be made easy by proper planning and by utilizing sources in a channeled way. Thank you so much.